After suffering from life-threatening injuries for 12 hours at a county jail, and now a lawsuit is being filed. We have the details ahead.
Beautiful skies, a gorgeous sunset, but the temperatures, they're going to continue to go up. NBC Palm Springs at 6 begins now.
Now, this is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Sandusky.
And I'm Mark Mester. It has been 5 months since a bombing at a fertility clinic rattled Palm Springs in the Coachella Valley. That's tonight's top story. We have a look today at what the scene looks like. This is off of Indian Canyon Drive, 5 months later, where that bombing took place. It was back on May 17th. You remember, took the life of one person, the bomber, 25-year-old Guy Edward Barkis of 29 Palms. It also left 4 people injured.
Another person of interest in the case, Daniel Park from the state of Washington, was arrested after being accused of spending over 180 pounds of materials used to make the homemade bombs in the blast. Park later died while in custody. Now, over the past 5 months, residents of the Coachella Valley have come together to help minimize the costs of repairs. But only some of that total money raised by the community to support the local businesses affected has been paid out.
Question now, where is the rest of the money? Brett Rosen takes a deep dive tonight.
I'm here across the street of what was once the IVF clinic located in Palm Springs. The bombing occurred 5 months ago. Palm Springs Fire Department saying over $12 million in damages were due to the blast. Now, residents of the city heard the call to action and raised over $300,000 to help the businesses affected. It was held and dispersed by the nonprofit Palm Springs Pride, as well as the Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce, the city's Economic Development Department, and the Agua Caliente Indian Tribe. Now, my question is, it's been 5 months. Where has this money gone?
Some of these windows broke, too.
This is J.R. Roberts. He owns a building right on Palm Canyon, and with a dozen tenants, he was one of the many who faced extreme building damages due to the bombing. Between broken windows and cracked walls, Roberts says he received $10,000 from Palm Springs Pride, and he also received $30,000 from the tribe through the Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce. Now 5 months in, and Roberts says the building is about a month away from being fully repaired, something he says wouldn't have been possible without the raised funds.
I would say that over half of my costs in repairing my building have been covered by these different little pools of money.
Through the generosity of the community, through fundraising events, a total of $335,000 was raised to be distributed to local businesses. Our investigation has learned that only $191,000 has been paid out, leaving $144,000 left in the bank. Both Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce CEO Nona Watson and Palm Springs Mayor, also the CEO of Palm Springs Pride, Rhonda Hart, say they are still looking to find more businesses that need help.
We redid the application, so now the application is out for businesses within those businesses that we've taken care of. That if you had to shut down, you had loss of income, whatever something was damaged that belonged to you as the renter in the building, then you can turn the application in.
We expect there's a handful of other very large claims still to be made where organizations or businesses are still working with their insurance companies.
Rhonda Hart told us that 10 businesses had received $10,000 each. We know Roberts received money, but when we asked for the names of the other owners who received the money, DeHart refused.
Show me where nonprofits can violate the public privacy of an entity that they're donating funds to.
And while the city of Palm Springs had a minimal hand with the funds raised to help businesses who were affected by the bombing, the City Hall is also the home of Mayor Rhonda Hart, who's also the CEO of the nonprofit PS Pride, who is a part of rebuilding Palm Springs. As he said earlier, he wants to still find the businesses that were affected by the blast to help them. But when I asked him about the businesses they've already helped, he wouldn't give me their specific names. The reason why, he says, is because he wants them to be anonymous. It's a privacy issue. But here's the problem with that. This is a 990 form. A nonprofit like PS Pride will have to fill something like this out at the end of the year, naming the different businesses that they helped and the amounts they gave to them. This after Rhonda Hart pledged transparency and trust in the news release of this fundraising effort. His argument of releasing the recipients would violate public-private trust simply isn't based in law. We checked with the Riverside County District Attorney's Office, 2 private attorneys, a nonprofit consultant, and the State Attorney General Office. All of them were in agreement that there is no expectation of privacy. A local nonprofit expert, Stephanie Miner, who's the CEO of Success for Nonprofits, says, quote, nonprofits have the responsibility to be transparent and show how donations are making an impact. That's part of the trust they build with the community. We also requested the list of recipients from the Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce. Per Nona Watson, she needed to clear that with the Agua Caliente tribe, which has not happened yet. Now, as we get closer to the half-year mark of the bombing, we here at NBC Palm Springs will continue to investigate where this money went to, as well as finding the businesses that could still benefit from these raised funds. Here in Palm Springs, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
All right, our thanks to Brett for that. Hundreds of protesters will demonstrate across the Coachella Valley tomorrow for the No Kings protest. Tomorrow's rally marks the second protest led by the national organization. Tiani Jadalang joins us live in studio tonight. She spoke with one organizer and local law enforcement to share more. Tiani.
Mark, here in the Coachella Valley, 4 different protests are being held throughout the day. Organizers tell me this rally is to express their discontent with the current administration. This is an event locator for Saturday's No Kings protests set to take place across the country. According to the website nokings.org, millions will protest, and several of those will do so here in the Coachella Valley. Robert McCann, a co-organizer of the Cathedral City Rally, tells us why he's a part of this movement.
It's unacceptable to the American people to change our form of government as radically as the current administration is trying to change it. That's not acceptable to us, and we will fight it.
McCann says over 800 people have signed up for the Cathedral City protest alone, and while the organization's goal is to have their voices heard, safety is also top of mind.
A lot of it is checking with the authorities, checking with the police, checking with the mayor's office to make sure that the way that we're going to do it is legal, so that we won't have any problems with them. And after that, it's mostly getting the word out.
The organizers have been in communication with local law enforcement leading up to the 4 rallies here in the Coachella Valley. Cathedral City, 2 in Palm Springs and 1 in Palm Desert. But for events of this size, Commander Andrew Diaz with the Cathedral City Police Department says they're teaming up with agencies across the desert.
We'll also have the fire department's been made aware, and so they know the event. And it's another day that public safety always takes into account our citizens. And if we need the fire department for any particular medical issues, we call them out.
Commander Diaz says additional personnel will be on standby. He says their goal is to ensure the safety of the public as protesters and counter-protesters express their First Amendment rights. As for safety for those planning to attend, these are some tips to remember moving forward.
The number one thing is to remain on sidewalks and not cross the street unless the light turns red for the opposing traffic, obviously, and you can see in the crosswalks. But we want to make sure that people don't get hit by vehicles. Again, we just don't know who's driving, and we don't want anybody to get hurt.
The first protest starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. in Cathedral City. We'll have coverage of tomorrow's rallies here on NBC Palm Springs tomorrow evening. Live in studio, I'm Tiani Jadalang, NBC Palm Springs.
Tiani, thank you. Speaking of the weekend, here's a live look outside our Agua Caliente casino camera, downtown Palm Springs. I think a few people are getting their weekend started early, maybe grabbing dinner out on the patio this evening, because as we check in with Pablo Alsina, conditions pretty nice out to be out there this evening.
So dry, low humidity, gorgeous. Temperature still in the high 80s. Perfect day. Looking at Palm Springs right now, 88 degrees. Winds just 5 miles an hour, but that's what I love. Humidity of just 12%. Last week we had humidity at 60%, so it was heavy, it was muggy. You're not feeling that now. Well, you are feeling some temperatures going up. Palm Springs at 88, Thousand Palms at 82, Desert Hot Springs at 78 degrees. The temperatures we're feeling, but if you're going for a walk after watching us and watching the Rogan Report, temperature 77 degrees at 6, then quickly at 8 to 72. Midnight still a nice 65 degrees. 3-day comfort air forecast. Friday at 90 degrees. Saturday 90. We're bringing the 90s back like if we're Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Sunday at 91, and then it's going to go up even higher, but I'll let you know about that in my full forecast coming up. I'm Pablo Alsina. Back over to Mark and Olivia.
All right, our thanks to Pablo for that. Turning to a local alert this evening, the Walter Clark Legal Group has filed legal action on behalf of a detainee who was assaulted by other inmates in a Riverside County jail. The detainee was denied medical care for 12 hours with life-threatening injuries. After these 12 hours, he was finally allowed to go to the hospital where he had emergency surgery. The lawsuit was filed today against Sheriff Chad Bianco for failure to provide these needs to the detainee. Attorneys Walter Clark and Dan Bolton will represent the man in the suit. We spoke with Dan Bolton earlier today about the situation at hand.
Well, surprisingly, this has been an ongoing problem with the Riverside County jails. In fact, in 2022, just a few years ago, they had about 18 deaths in the jail. That was the highest number that year in the prior 15 years. And since then, since 2022, the rates have been equally off the charts. So this is an ongoing systemic problem that is not being dealt with by the Sheriff's Department, where inmates are in need of medical care and they are not given what they're entitled to.
The lawsuit comes after the Riverside County Board of Supervisors failed to implement a new oversight committee over the Sheriff's Department.
New at 6 o'clock tonight, Modernism Week is in full effect. Saturday, the Modernism Show continues at the Convention Center for vintage furnishings and home decor. There's a curated vintage event at Temple Isaiah. This runs from 11 to 3 with vintage fashion and accessories and home tours, as well as double-decker bus tours and exclusive stops. On Sunday, the event wraps up with Modernism Show conclusion and Historical Society walking tours.
So this is a 4-day weekend of architecture tours, talks, films, parties, and of course our signature double-decker bus tour. Every February we work with homeowners that have never had their homes on tours before. So each year we have some new homes and some repeat homes that are everyone's favorites to see.
Sackley House is the Modernism Week featured home, so be sure not to miss out. You can grab your tickets at modernismweek.com.
All right, coming up next tonight, the fraud case against QueerWorks CEO Jacob Rostowski. His trial readiness hearing was held today, but the case has been delayed again. We've got the details ahead.
And a quick look at your gold and silver prices this evening. Stay with us. Those headlines and more coming up right after the break.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea.
And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 6.
Welcome back. The case against the CEO of a local nonprofit took another turn today. Jacob Rostovsky faces more than 50 felony counts of fraud, and his trial has been pushed back once again. Our Alondra Campos was inside the courtroom today. She joins us live in studio with the latest updates for us. Alondra?
That's right. QueerWorks CEO Jacob Rostovsky was back in court today as he faces multiple charges, including fraudulent claims, grand theft, and alleged misappropriation of more than $800,000 in public funds. His legal team is now asking for more time and filed a petition for mental health diversion in this legal battle that has been unfolding for nearly a year.
The motion to seal, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. Okay. And pursue it, we'll refile as we discussed.
Yeah. QueerWorks CEO Jacob Rostovsky stood quietly next to his lawyer in the courtroom as the judge agreed to postpone yet again his trial readiness conference.
Voted back here December 17th, 8:30 in the morning in this courtroom.
The defense has filed a mental health diversion petition, a request that, if approved, could allow Rostovsky to enter treatment instead of traditional prosecution. Under this petition, the defendant waives their right to a speedy trial, and the defense must provide a diagnosis of a mental health disorder, provide a nexus between the mental health disorder and the crime the defendant committed, and prove that a treatment program would be the best option. If a judge sees that the mental health disorder is not a risk to public safety, the defendant will undergo a treatment program that can last up to 2 years and then be freed of all charges. If the judge disapproves of the treatment outcome, however, the trial will start once again from the beginning. After the short hearing, we asked both sides for comment, and while the defense kept quiet,
I'll talk to you later off the record on background, but I don't want to talk now.
prosecutors also declined to speak. Any comment? Is there no at all? District Attorney Mike Hestrin first announced the 53-count indictment against Rostovsky last year, alleging he embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars. The controversy originated with a universal basic income pilot program led by Rostovsky, promising monthly stipends for transgender and non-binary residents. Those funds, investigators say, were instead used for personal expenses. The case prompted the city of Palm Springs to revise how it handles public grants, implementing new auditing procedures and fraud prevention training after a civil grand jury found more than $700,000 taxpayer dollars was lost. His next court appearance will take place on December 17th at the Riverside Hall of Justice for the next trial readiness conference, where his legal team expects the judge to have a decision on the mental health diversion petition. Live from studio, I'm Alondra Campos. Back to you.
All right, our thanks to Alondra for that. Giving you a live look tonight from our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera there. On this Friday evening, as we head into the weekend, Pablo Alsina standing by for that all-important 7-day forecast as we head into Saturday and Sunday. The details on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBC Palm Springs.
Happy Friday. Yes, it's Friday. I'm Pablo Alsina, and what a time to be alive. I can't wait to go dancing in Palm Springs for the first time. Still don't know which is the hottest club here, but the hottest weather is right here. Look how beautiful these skies are. Hot as in good, but the temperatures will get hot literally also. We're back up to the high 80s, but low humidity, the dew points low as well, so it's just beautiful. We are back to what we normally are after a few days of being 10 degrees cooler than normal. We're back at about the same. The record 105 degrees set in 2020. Looking at the whole Southwest, temperatures relatively low. So if you want a little road trip to Vegas or down to San Diego, beautiful temperatures right now, but you can't beat 90 degrees in Palm Springs, especially when the air is so dry and crisp. You don't sweat at all. The dew points at just 35 degrees, extremely comfortable. 10 p.m. temperatures not going down that much, 75 degrees at 10 p.m. Now looking at the high temperatures we saw in the area. Palm Springs, they reached 90 again. We hadn't seen 90s for several days. Palm Desert at 88. Thousand Palms at 86 degrees. Big Bear City with a high of 54. They were at a high of just 30 a couple of days ago, so it's heating up all over the place. The lows you're going to feel tonight. Palm Springs, a gorgeous 62 degrees. Joshua Tree at 51. I love laying and looking at the stars without light pollution like I'm used to in LA. Just looks so beautiful here. Cabazon, 56 degrees. And for the 7-day comfort air forecast, this is what I meant. The temperatures will continue to go up. Friday at 90, Saturday at 90, Sunday back to 91, but then on Monday, mid-90s at 94 degrees. But then eventually they will start going back down again. I still don't know where I'm going to live. I'm still looking for a place. Shout out to Donna Helling, my realtor. She showed me a couple nice places, but I'm still not deciding on the area. I am Pablo Alsina. Keep it right here on NBC Palm Springs.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea.
And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Worried about missing a broadcast? Don't worry. We stream just about everywhere from Instagram to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and of course our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. Be sure not to miss anything. If you're only watching us on TV, you're only getting part of it. NBC Palm Springs Sports with Caitlin Kelly, powered by Agua Caliente Casino.
Time for some Friday Night Lights. The Palm Springs Indians hosting the Xavier Saints tonight. Our Caitlin Kelly joining us live from Palm Springs High School with all the action. Caitlin?
Yeah, that's right, Olivia. Behind me, you see the Palm Springs Indians getting warmed up ahead of this big matchup between the Indians and the Saints coming in from Palm Desert over there at Xavier Prep High School. Now, Xavier Prep actually just arrived here to the stadium a little bit later than most visiting teams arrive to a stadium, but nonetheless, they are here. They're in the locker room and getting ready. Now, in terms for this matchup here tonight, Palm Springs, they are undefeated on the season so far, sitting pretty at 7-0 in thanks in huge part to the big three-headed monster that is Koa Rapoa, Bishop Miller, and Jordan Johnson. These three seniors have been working hard well before they ever took the field for Palm Springs High School. They've been playing football with one another since they were just little kids, so the team chemistry is there. The team will be without Jordan Johnson tonight because of what they call it in hockey, a lower body injury. But in his stead, we're going to see freshman phenom Kaylon Smith taking the field. This kid is absolutely electric. They call him Tank, and he's an incredible running back, a freshman running back for Palm Springs. But the one thing about Palm Springs is that while they're an incredible scoring team, their defense does allow quite a few more points than I think they would like. And I think that's what's going to be Xavier Prep's chance to really get into this game. Of course, Kingston Pelham, the quarterback for Xavier Prep, this kid can juke and jive. He's already responsible for 11 rushing touchdowns on the season. So Palm Springs is going to have to stop Kingston Pelham. Otherwise, this game is going to be, I think, a lot more interesting than people are anticipating. Of course, we'll have a full breakdown on all things Friday Night Lights on our Friday Night Lights show with me and Tim. Simply go to the NBC Palm Springs website tomorrow. Live at Palm Springs Stadium, I'm Caitlin Kelly. I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
The Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce added their 480th star on the Walk of Stars. Happened today. It honored pioneering architectural designer Herbert W. Burns. He was one of Palm Springs' earliest architectural visionaries, credited with helping shape the desert city's iconic mid-century character. His portfolio of works include many historic sites like the Village Manor, Desert Hills, Apartment Hotel, and the 500 West. His impact stretches throughout the Coachella Valley and can be seen from buildings to many of the palm trees that you see along Palm Canyon Drive and beyond. We'll be right back.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea.
And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Worried about missing a broadcast? Don't worry. We stream just about everywhere from Instagram to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and of course our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Brighter Side of the News is brought to you by Fiesta Kia. Discover the all-new Fiesta Kia located in the I-10 Auto Mall.
Today was Desert Hot Springs High School's homecoming parade. This year's theme, The Force Awakens. Marching band out there doing a great job. It all kicked off at 3. And I think you may know that guy right there. Mr. Tim O'Brien, sports director, got his own golf cart to ride in the parade. He was today's special guest. Celebration arrives ahead of the football game tonight against Banning at 7. You look good, all right. He'll be in the golf cart.